man who raped and killed an on-duty doctor in her own hospital has escaped the death sentence. A Kolkata court today sentenced him to life till death, ruling that this case does not fall under the category of rarest of rare. In addition, Sanjay Roy has been fined 50,000 rupees. The court has also ordered a compensation of 17 lakh rupees for the victim's family, 7 lakhs for rape and 10 lakhs for murder. Is 17 lakh rupees the cost of a woman's life and dignity? Well, the doctor's family certainly doesn't think so. They have rejected this compensation, saying all they want is justice in the form of capital punishment. Inside the courtroom, Sanjay Roy pleaded innocence, claiming he is the victim of a conspiracy. Outside, though, junior doctors have expressed displeasure over the verdict, confirming that they and the parents of the doctor will challenge this ruling in a higher court.
What is your first reaction? You have been the leading face of this protest.
We believe that this is not the complete justice for this, Ohio case, because this is the rarest of the rarest case. One person cannot be accused or one cannot be, victimized for these incidents. And whenever we got, other investigation in our hand, every investigation has the questions. Plan for, making all together all the questions and the emotions of all people and, movement. Everything we'll put together and we'll fight for this
movement. The judge said that it does
for our and we'll
judge
fight.
Said he believes that it doesn't come under the rarest of the rare crime. The prosecution failed to prove that it's as rarest as the rare crime.
That is the different part, because what judge can say? Judge can say in the initial evidence or in the surrounding evidence. So what judge says, but what we say, we will say, because this is our democratic rights that we can criticize to the judge. This is not a complete satisfactory judgment for us. We believe that we will go for the higher court, and higher court that justice should come.
Meanwhile, the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is training her guns at the CBI for failing to do its job. She's also accusing the centre of taking away the probe from the state, saying had the case stayed with the state, definitely Sanjay Roy would have got death. The BJP, however, is saying that Mamata's police tampered with evidence which affected the investigation.
আরজিকর রায় নিয়ে কিন্তু আমি যেহেতু হেলিতে ছিলাম বলে আমি ডিটেইলসটা এখনো শুনিনি, তো আপনাদের কাছ থেকে শুনলাম যে এটা নাকি যাবজ্জীবন দেওয়া হয়েছে। এটা আপনাদের কাছ থেকে প্রথম আমি শুনলাম। আমার রিঅ্যাকশন ইজ ভেরি ক্লিয়ার। আমরা প্রথম দিন থেকে ফাঁসির দাবি করে এসেছিলাম। আমি এই কথা বলছি যে আমি তো ডিটেইলস কাগজপত্র দেখিনি, বাট আই এম নট স্যাটিসফাইড।
फांसी का सजा तो मिलना ही चाहिए संजय राय को, लेकिन हम लोग खुश नहीं है। हम लोग इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन से खुश नहीं है। सीबीआई को सप्लीमेंट्री चार्जशीट देना पड़ेगा। और कौन है संजय राय के साथ थे? आज मुख्यमंत्री का पुलिस, मुख्यमंत्री का प्रशासन, जो सीबीआई बोला कि एविडेंस टैंपर हुआ है, संजय राय को बचाने के लिए टैंपर किया है, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता। शाम को 6 बजे के बाद पोस्टमार्टम हुआ संजय राय को बचाने के लिए, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता। शमशान में जल्दबाजी करके बॉडी को जलाया गया संजय राय को बचाने के लिए, नहीं हो सकता है। अभया का माताजी पिताजी को घूस दिया गया, जो है उसको बोलिए पहले उनका नाम लिखे तभी पूरा होगा, अभी नहीं हुआ।
Let me go straight across to my colleague Shreya Dhoundial, who has been tracking that story for us from outside the Shialda court. She continues to be there. In fact, outside the Shialda court, Shreya Dhoundial, today we saw massive protests by students, by doctors, in fact, who had been on a strike outside the RG Kar hospital as well. I do understand, of course, that there will be an appeal in a higher court, in this case, the High Court. But have the students who were protesting dispersed? What are they saying?
Well, of course, right now we do not have the students. They have
anticipated that a death penalty will be given in this case. In fact, that is what the CBI lawyer has said in front of the judge today, that it is
CBI lawyer has said in front of the judge today that it is rarest of the rare crime, but the judge has clearly deferred. And of course, we see that Sanjay Roy has got life imprisonment. Now, a lot of question is being asked at this point in time. People are questioning the CBI investigation. So, of course, we will have to see whether or not they're going to challenge it in the higher court.
Okay. Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Shreya, thank you very much for joining us. Is this really not the rarest of rare cases that deserved capital punishment? I'm putting that question to Khushbu Jain, who's an advocate in the Supreme Court, because that is something, Khushbu Jain, many people are asking. How is this not the rarest of rare cases? This was a sexual assault that was followed by murder. The young doctor in the premises of her own hospital is assaulted to a degree that when her body is found, her eyes were bleeding. There is bleeding in her private parts. Almost every part of her body had sustained an injury. How is this not a rarest of rare case? Has the court erred?
See, let me not put a judgment to whether court has erred or not erred, but to put in my own personal opinion and looking into a plethora of judgments which have been passed by the courts in the past, starting from Bachchan Singh, which laid down the entire ground of rarest of rare cases. And coming to that, see the whole aspect of when you talk about rarest of rare, it says that any crime that may be heinous or brutal, but may not be in the category of rarest of rare cases, can also be an aspect where death penalty can be given. But here we're talking about something very brutal and heinous, and there have been enough and more of judgments which clearly define a situation where a victim is in a helpless situation, forced upon. There is a brutality that happened, and there cannot be more heinous than committing a crime against the women when it comes to rape, and after that, killing that person in a cold manner. I mean, what more rare or brutal can be is what my personal opinion over here comes in. And if you look into the aspects, what do you mean by rarest of rare cases? See, this is just the category where they say that the accused may be a menace to a society and would continue to do so. It can threaten the peaceful and harmonious coexistence, and the manner in which the crime is committed must be such that it may result into an intense and extreme indignation of a community and shock the collective conscience of the society. And I think the matter in hand, or any matter for that matter, where women are put to such a situation where it can be by family, we have seen in the past, it can be by place of work, the situation where it has happened in the present case, or for that matter, any other places around a place where a crime like a rape and followed by a death is committed by a person against a woman, it comes under the category of being heinous, it comes under the category of being brutal, and it can go to a level where it will be considered, or it should be considered, rarest of rare cases, and punishment like death penalty should be given, so that this sets an example that these are crimes against the society. Any crime against the women which is so heinous, so brutal, is a crime against society, because as a society is failing to keep 50% of its population safe. And for that matter, such punishment is something which one should look into, and it should act as a deterrent. There are so many, yeah, please.
Can I ask you this then? One of the reasons that life sentence has been given in this case and not death is because the court found merit in Sanjay Roy's lawyer's argument that the man is not beyond redemption, that he is not beyond reform. Is that something you buy? I mean, here is a man who in the dead of the night enters a hospital, sees an on-duty doctor, drags her, rapes her, strangulates her, and kills her. I want to ask you, is such a man, in your legal opinion, even capable of reform? Because it seems that the court has found merit in their argument that he is.
See, the whole thing that's coming out is coming out from the same aspect, the mitigating circumstances which they talk about, and there have been discretion which has been given to the courts, to rely upon circumstances of each case. And one such understanding is the probability that the accused can be reformed and rehabilitated. So that's where the state has to prove beyond any doubt that the accused does not satisfy the condition number 1, that is the offense committed under the influence of extreme mental or emotional disturbance, or number 2, the age of the accused, the accused is young and or the old, he shall not be sentenced to death, and the probability that the accused would not commit the crime or the acts of the violence that would constitute a continuing threat to the society. So I think here they're talking about the continuing threat to the society, and I would personally disagree with it, because this is a threat to the society. We cannot wait for 10 more crimes to happen by one person and then think of that, okay, this is a threat to the society. One crime constitutes a threat to the society, and it should not be given as an exception over here, or should not be interpreted in such a manner that one should give that, okay, there can be a rehabilitation to a person like that, because it's not a spur of the moment thing or a situation, or he has had mental trauma or things like that, which can give an exception, or he is underage. The situation here is pretty much clear. And personal opinion, Shreya, there has to be a death penalty over here. So gruesome that this practically gives in that such gruesome act against women should be taken up very seriously.
You know, I'm just thinking of the young doctor's parents. And I'm thinking about what happened to Nirbhaya's parents. They had to wait 11 years to see their daughter's rapists and murderers hang. And now that journey has just about begun for the parents of this young doctor. Your heart really goes out to them. There is nothing else you can say at this point of time except the fact that they are looking at a 10-year waiting period for justice, if they are lucky. We leave it there for the moment, Khushbu Jain. Thank you very much for joining us. On that note, I'm stepping into a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next, the big inauguration later this evening. Donald Trump is back. We're getting you live reports right here on Mirror Now. Do stay with us.